Don't trust that man.
He's a watch reviewer. I'm scared, Daddy.
Shh, it's okay, buddy, it's okay.
It is 3:06 p.m. Let's get down to business. Okay, so about a week ago, I made an episode titled Don't Trust Watch Reviewers, Take Everything with a Grain of Salt, Part 1. And the title kind of says it all, right? But I knew that I'd be getting a ton of comments because that's a very bold statement, don't trust watch reviewers. So I already prepared myself to film this episode, which is a sequel. If you haven't seen the first one, click up here and watch it because that gives you some context for what we're going to be talking about today. Now I'm going to kick this one off by saying right up front, I don't know how other watch reviewers run their businesses or their channels. I don't know their interactions with watchmakers, and I'm not going to try to speculate on that. I can kind of only speak for myself, but I am going to make a very blanket statement here. You should pretty much not trust any of us here on YouTube. Here's why. Everything you see and hear coming from a YouTuber or any content creator is filtered through that content creator's experiences, knowledge base, personal preferences. This is kind of what we call perspective, and that's a good thing. But with that being said, we as content creators are not here to think for you. We're also not here to make decisions for you. And I guess I should just speak for myself when I say, I'm just speaking for myself here on this channel. I'm not trying to tell you to do anything. I'm here to call things as I see them. I'm here to make jokes and derail episodes of my own production. And I started this channel with the intent of making content I wish I had when I entered the hobby. Because let's be honest, a lot of watch reviewers, a lot of watch enthusiasts are very hyperclinical. You didn't think I would slip into this character? Here we have a nylon strap. You would say that it is a NATO strap in some circles, but you shan't say that. Copyright law, trademark law, many different iterations of this strap. It goes by a multitude of names. We will call this a NATO strap, maybe a military strap. The tensile strength of it is quite rigid, strong, wearable, malleable under certain circumstances and climates. We have a resin case, a digital module, negative display with buttons that become actuated 5 foot-pounds of pressure. God, I can't do that character for longer than that. Round of applause in the comment section. I did the hyperclinical. Everyone's been asking me to bring back the hyperclinical guy. I can't do it. Because the truth is, I didn't like that about the watch world, okay? There's a lot of other dudes out there who crush it, being the hyperclinical, wants to only talk about friction coefficients of joule counts and beat frequencies and really just intense minutia when it comes to this hobby. And that's great. I think that we should be consuming all different kinds of information when it comes to this hobby. But there wasn't someone who just kind of conveyed fun with it, right? Or my type of fun, because I'm sure people that really love that really dense minutia find that fun, and that's great. What I'm trying to say is I just wanted to make content that I wanted to see. Another thing that I want the viewers to keep in mind is that oftentimes, and again, I'm not going to speak for any other watch reviewer, when I get a watch in for review, I don't spend huge amounts of time with each watch, right? I'm often spending about a couple weeks with each watch. So it's not like I'm talking about the watches in my personal collection where I often have, months, years and years of history with these watches and how they've worn and how they've kind of ran through the years, issues I may have had, things I've encountered, things I like and don't like over a long period of time. Again, you got to take things with a grain of salt, because when I review watches, they're not my personal watches more often than not. I don't have years under the belt with each watch. So I might spend time with a watch and then give you a pro and cons list and kind of rant about certain things and tell you what I like and don't like and what I think they could have done better. But at the end of the day, you need to watch and listen and then kind of do the work to formulate your own opinions on the matter. Again, I'm just one guy from one guy's perspective. I'm not the end-all be-all of anything. Or is it be-all end-all? Who knows? Irreplicable. Learned that one the other episode. Who knows? Irreplicable. Learned that one the other episode. So again, whether or not you agree with me on a certain pro or con, or whether or not you think something I said was accurate in regards to you know, one of my opinions or insights, it doesn't really matter, because that's what the comment section is for. So if you agree with me, it's not that I don't want you to comment because it's like, oh, I'm just preaching to the choir. No, voice your opinion, because that's, you know, really valuable. And if you disagree with me, it's not that I don't want you to comment because I can't handle any type of criticism. No, please comment. Again, that's very, very valuable to have that dialogue in the comment section of my episodes, because it shows that you guys are taking things with a grain of salt, thinking of them, and voicing your own opinions. Now, I got a very interesting comment on the part 1 of this little mini-series. The original commenter said, I don't like skeletonized watches either, but I wouldn't chalk that up as a con. That's a personal preference, but yeah, I wouldn't buy this watch on reviews alone. Too many red flags. So he was referring to the pros and cons list that I made, and one of the cons was that it was a skeletonized watch, and I don't really like skeletonized watches. Now, I responded and said, that's kind of the whole point, dude. These reviews are from one guy's perspective, so that being said, skeletonized design is a con. And then another person chimed in and just kind of third-partied me and said, actually, to do a proper reviews, you can't be biased. If it being skeleton is hindering the movement or causing a technical problem with the watch, then yes, it's a con. I responded to him and said, I never claimed to not be biased. I claimed to make content as I see it. Which leaves us to right now. I think this is an example of some people being kind of confused about the principle of what I'm laying out in these part 1 and part 2 episodes. The cons that I state might be subjective, but so are the pros. And that goes for, I'm sure, a lot of what a lot of people talk about on YouTube. Again, people are just talking about what they believe. But in regards to my watch channel, if I see a watch and I say, ooh, the blue dial is super duper captivating, I like the fume pattern, how it gets darker around the chapter ring and then kind of brightens up along the spindle, so the dial detailing is a definite pro. Guess what? That whole entire line of thought was very subjective. What I'm trying to say is nothing is like objectively beautiful, right? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if I say, oh, the titanium case is very light, okay, that's objective. Titanium is lighter than stainless steel. But if I say it's a pro that it's titanium because titanium is much more interesting than stainless steel, everything's made out of 316L stainless steel, so getting a watch with this titanium makes it super, not cumbersome, very wearable, super functional, and just way more cool. That is also incredibly subjective. That's just a very subjective statement. And the same goes for negative statements. If I say this fume dial is super ugly, or this titanium is just too light, feels kind of cheap, cons. Those are subjective. That's kind of the whole point of me doing reviews. You guys watch my reviews because you want to see this ugly dude's opinion on something. That's like, this shouldn't be mind-blowing. And so again, I'm not trying to speak for other watch reviewers, but I'm just trying to say, to save your guys some, headaches and stress, just don't trust any of us. Take everything with a grain of salt, because you're getting stuff filtered through people's own personal preferences and opinions. And it just, bottom line, it would not be fun if I oversimplified my pros and cons list to being, pros, this watch works. Cons, this watch is broken. Like, okay, yeah, those are two objective statements. This watch is functioning, telling time properly. Pro, this watch is objectively broken. The movement does not run. That's boring. So every watch that works and tells some measurement of time is a pro, good watch, and every watch that, the only bad watches, the only con would be watches that are actually broken. So yeah, I guess I never claimed to not be biased, but I will say I'm 100% honest with what I say on this channel, and to be clear, everything I say on this channel is coming from me. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. It's your job to parse through it and decide if you agree or not, and that's perfectly fine. Tell me in the comment section. I'm sure there's people that disagree with me on this episode. They're already typing away. That's awesome. So when you're watching a watch review, I'm sure there's a bunch of things, a bunch of variables to think about. Was this episode sponsored? Was the watch given to the channel? Is this a watch that the watch reviewer personally owns? Now, I personally on this channel am as clear as possible with all of those variables, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter, because what you should do is listen and then decide what you think, because it's what you think that matters, not really what I think, or like any talking head on YouTube in any part of the world, okay? This could open up a big can of worms, but I think we should all just stop listening to like other people. We should stop listening to other people and start like listening to other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, wow, this is getting super deep. I'm gonna have to start a podcast on this principle alone. We should do our best to like stop listening to people, and we should try harder to actually listen to other people. Do you know what I mean? There's a distinction there. I'm gonna leave that to you to figure out what I mean, though. Good luck. So I know this got kind of metaphysical, a little bit cerebral, a little bit deep, but okay, let me just sum it up here, just real quick. Trust me when I say, don't trust watch reviewers. Think for yourself. There you have it, guys. Please, hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get notified when I upload. And yeah, check out my personal website, theTimeTellerShop.com. #1 place to find affordable vintage luxury watches handpicked by me. Now, I will catch you on the next one. I think today's episode is a rant. Might show up on a Wednesday. I don't know. Typically, we do the rants on Fridays, and we do a live stream every single Saturday morning, Pacific. Again, guys, I'm in California, unfortunately. But we do it every 11:30 a.m. and we stream for about an hour. So I would love to see you. It's right here on this channel. Join in. Again, whole lot of fun. So I want to see you there. All right, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.